So nobody involved with the Indiana Fever was in any way happy with the referees today. Nobody was happy with the referees today because they were shockingly bad. They were shockingly bad. Especially there was one ref that was like way worse than the others. I can't even remember. Like I'm not gonna look at the referees' names or anything, but they were shocking. They were absolutely shocking. And realistically, we are now looking at an Indiana Fever team who are pretty much done, down and out. And I think the Indiana Fever are just about good enough to hang with this Atlanta Dream team at the best, during their like best days. Like there's no way they can hang with this team when the referees are against them as well. They just can't. They're not good enough. They're good enough to hang with this team 100%. They are not good enough to hang with this team with the refs not on their side. And if you guys didn't see during the game, just take a look at this. Like, Stephanie White is going mad at the refs. Has to be calmed down by Caitlin Clark. She has to be calmed down by Caitlin Clark when she got teed up. And, like, obviously she got teed up because the ESPN won't even show. They're just saying Fever coach received technical foul. They don't even show why. This is why. Shea Petty is under the basket and she just gets chucked by Naz Hillman. She just gets chucked by Naz Hillman. About 3 possessions earlier, Lexi Hull's going for an offensive rebound and just gets thrown into the crowd. And the referees are ignoring it. So for me, that's just the way I'm looking at it. Like, the referees ignored so much excessive contact on the side of the Fever. And then this is what Stephanie White has to say about the fact that they used both their challenges. The Fever had to use both of their challenges in the first half. So let's take a listen.
In the first half, and it seemed like the tensions boiled over in the fourth with those technical fouls. Just how frustrating was that today?
It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Nobody likes to use their challenges in the first half, especially when they're successful. And look, it is what it is. This is not anything that's new. I think how we adjust, how we use it to our advantage on one end and try to be disciplined enough to not on the other end. It's an equal chess match as it is for playing an opponent, right? So, I think that's just an area that we're going to have to dive into, how we get an advantage.
I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, I actually have no idea. Like, I thought by the end of this season, I'd be a good Stephanie White translator. Everything is a blessing in disguise. I don't know if she's talking about using challenges to her advantage or using referees to the advantage. I actually don't know what she's saying. I don't know what she's trying to say. That might just be me. I have no idea. No idea what she's trying to say here. But like, for me with the referee situation, like, look, I don't think that the Indiana Fever win this game. I think there's no scenario really that the Indiana Fever win that game. I think that the Dream were better on the day. I think they're the better team. I think they're bigger, stronger, faster. I think they're tougher. I don't think I'm not going to say mentally tougher because I think the Indiana Fever are unbelievably mentally tough. I mean, physically tougher. I think they're a team that has the ability to light up more than the Indiana Fever. They're faster. They play better in transition. They're better coached. Just kind of everything goes for the Atlanta Dream. And when you've got all those advantages and the Fever are still able to hang because they have this resilience that no other team in the WNBA has, so they can hang. But I will say that with that being said, like, they've absolutely not got the ability to hang when the referees are going against them. And I think one of the reasons why the referees are going against them is purely because when you are not seen as this physical, tough team, when you're seen as a physical tough team, you absolutely can you can be overly physical. And when you're seen as a tough player, you've seen it so many times when it comes to like Lou Dort and stuff. When you're seen as a tough player, you can get away with stuff with not fouling. But the Fever are seen as a soft team. They get away with nothing. They get away with absolutely nothing. Like everything for the Indiana Fever is going to be called as a foul. They don't get any benefit of the doubt. Whereas the Atlanta Dream's like, oh no, Bree Jones is this big physical tough player. Yeah, she might not have fouled. But Bree Jones kind of got knocked a little bit. So Aaliyah fouled her. But Bree Jones knocks Aaliyah. Or Bree Jones is stronger. Same with Ryan Howard on Lexi. Same with Alicia Gray and Kelsey Mitchell. They're just allowed that because of reputation. And the Fever don't have a reputation of being tough. So you don't get away with that. You absolutely don't get away with that extra contact. And also the Fever don't have a good whistle. We've seen it with Dawana Bonner when she went to Indiana and suddenly wasn't getting a whistle. Like, she had a layup to beat the New York Liberty and she just got shoved in the back and they ignored it. And then down the next possession, Lexi Hull was going straight up and Sabrina Ionescu just threw the ball at the basket. And all of a sudden, the Liberty go and win the game. So yeah, it's an all around interesting situation when it comes to the refs, and I think Stephanie White is. I think you can argue that she's completely justified in going mad at refs. You can argue that she's justified in this take, and I think she is. I think the referees have definitely not favored the Fever. I think the referees have been against the Indiana Fever a lot of the year. I don't think it's necessarily we want the Fever to lose. I think it's a reputational thing. Like, I don't think the referees have been particularly great when it comes to like the Sky, the Wings, other than Paige, obviously. But I think the Dream, the Mercury, I think these vet tough whistles, and the Liberty, because the Liberty used to get the Liberty whistle, but like all these vet whistles that the Fever don't seem to have because they're not, like, even a Kelsey Mitchell isn't considered a vet. They don't have a vet whistle because they don't really have vets. And when it comes to Natasha Howard, like, other than when Natasha Howard somehow took over in from the free throw line in the Commissioners Cup final, she hasn't had the greatest whistle. Anyway, yeah, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And yeah, Stephanie White, like, throughout the game, losing it at referees in a surprise to nobody, considering how bad they have been. Not only this season, but especially in this game. So anyway, see you guys.